Hello everyone, I'm back with another video on EOS and a video from Investing with the Difference. So this is today's video is dedicated to EOS ecosystem. So we are going to talk about a lot of new things and especially encouraging things for EOS which are happening. While I understand that the market is not doing as good and I think a lot of people are concerned, so we will definitely spend some time on that before we jump onto the specific aspects of EOS ecosystem. So first of all, let's look at the Bitcoin price because that is driving the market. The alts are doing even worse. But I think as Bitcoin is leading most of the price action, so we always look at that. If you remember in my last video, I talked about this support level. This is around 6,800, 6,850 zone. And once we broke out, this was a great shorting opportunity. We did take advantage of this. I hope some traders out there did do the same. And once we broke out, we got a very nice $600 down move. And this is the same zone now we are taking support, which is where we had a lot of buying last time around. So I think between $5,800 to $6,200, there's a strong support. A lot of accumulation has happened previously. I'm sorry, I have some bad throat this last couple of days. I think traveling is taking a toll on me, so my voice is dropping as well as my health is not keeping up that well. So all right, so let's see how the price is looking now. So I think we are in an oversold territory. So I think there is a small bounce which can really take us higher. And it is kind of holding on to these support levels. But as I said, the chart is looking pretty bad on a medium to long term perspective. In short term, yes, there is a bounce which is due, and I would say it should bounce back by a few $100s, if not more. Or maybe it will go and test this breakout point again, that is around $6,800, and that can be a good trading opportunity again. And even on a time cycle, I see that this is right now looking like a good opportunity for somebody to buy here. But I think overall, it is very critical now. We are very close to breaking down for 2018's lows, and this is going to be risky if you are not in for a long time. If you are looking for short-term movements, I think it's be very careful. Only invest what you can lose, and make sure that you have the holding capacity or averaging down if you need to, if this price keeps going down. So what is driving it? I think most of it was due to this delay by ETF, by SEC for the ETF decision. I would say my personal view is that if the decision is delayed, that means they're still considering it, which is positive, but the market is just looking for any negative news. And that is what happened here. But if they had to reject, it was very easy for them and they did not have to postpone. So I think it is still a positive scenario. A lot of big banks are investing into ETF products, and I would say that it's very likely that it will get passed because they are still considering it. They have delayed the decision. That means they are still debating about it, that it should happen or not. Now, let us look at EOS, and I think I will go to blocks.io. It's a great tool being developed by EOS Cafe and HK EOS. And what we are seeing here is that the price definitely has taken a hit, just like all the altcoins. I think we are now below $5.60. It's pretty bad in term absolute sense, but remember that this is a pretty cheap price for the kind of blockchain technology we are looking at. And in the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about a lot of other things which are happening in terms of the ecosystem which is coming up, and a lot of investments happening in Bitcoin EOS world. So let us look at that. And I think the RAM itself is getting pretty cheap now. It's almost below $1. So some part of it is because of the price of EOS going down itself, and the RAM is also stable now in a lower area around 0.168 EOS after the RAM solution, which is integrated now by block producers. In terms of the block producers themselves, we see that there's again a lot of movement. You see start EOS has gone on top again, and a lot of other Chinese block producers, and Bitfinex itself has been stable, but there is always a movement. It's still not a great sign for some of the block producers who are putting a lot of effort. They're still not sure how it will pan out in long run for them. But I think the good thing is that the blockchain is working very, very well. If you go to the Blocktivity, I think we have been doing pretty well. We made recently some new highs. I don't know if I loaded the Blocktivity page, but anyway, I think we are doing pretty good in terms of the peak peak transactions, we have hit 3,700. And overall, the blockchain is healthy and everything is going fine. One tool which I want to highlight about blocks.io is that it's a pretty good tool in terms of how you monitor. So a lot of people we have been using EOS Flare, EOS Spark, and others. So blocks.io looks like a pretty nice tool. So for example, if you look at our investing with a difference account, you can see how much RAM you have, how much it is utilized. Similarly, net and CPU, and it very clearly defines what is your status, and also you can do filtering of actions like how many tokens you have received, you have sent. You can actually only click on that particular uh, link and filter, and you can see all the tokens which you have been, like, you can really categorize your individual transactions. So it's a good tool. Do try it out. We are pretty excited about it. In terms of EOS ecosystem, uh, I'm very excited to see some of the exchanges opening up now based on EOS. So this is a DEX EOS, which is mostly a decentralized exchange, and they are using scatter-based login, no registration. You can actually trade tokens on this, which is the EOS airdrop tokens. And we did try a couple of trades. Of course, we just put trades. It's not very liquid. Very few people are trading on it. But for the sake of trying out their ordering system, it is very clean. Right now, they are not charging any commissions, and it's very exciting, I think. So we are very happy with these new tools coming up, and I think a lot more people should start using, trying them out, and hopefully you will, at one point, these will gain enough volumes and that they will replace the Ethereum-based exchanges, which are not really great in terms of how the DEX should work. And the free transactions are really good because you can place orders and you can cancel them without any cost to you, which is the great thing because of free transaction on EOS. What else is happening? Let us look at another project which has moved from Ethereum to EOS. This is Medipedia, and they have again explained why they did that, and it's a very good news because we expect more and more projects to now realize that ERC20 platform, that is the Ethereum platform, is not great because of many reasons. I think we don't have to repeat them. We all know that how fast EOS is, so they have talked about same thing in their blog post in terms of the transaction speed, in terms of the fee which Ethereum has. And as you know that Ethereum is again clogged and there are 68,000 transactions which are unconfirmed, which is a pretty slow movement right now on Ethereum. And if you look at the scalability of EOS, we all know about it. So let me not repeat it. I just wanted to highlight that Medipedia is something which is another project which has realized that they need to move from ERC20 to EOS. Then I wanted to show you another project which is very interesting. This is Tixico. This is a ticketing system where they are using blockchain to secure the sports tickets, and they're selling. They're already actually active project. They're actually selling tickets using blockchain. And what is great about this project is they have now started moving to EOS. So this is another project which has realized that they have to move to something which is more scalable, which is more efficient versus Ethereum. So this is, again, I'm just trying to show you what is happening in the world of EOS. That means that you have more and more projects which are realizing the potential, and they are starting to use EOS blockchain. Then there is another interesting project which is Boid. So this is a side chain they are starting on EOS, and but they will be delivering airdrops to all Genesis block snapshot people. So what they are actually, they have very interesting idea. So they are talking about they call it social supercomputer. It's a bit big word, so let's see what they're trying to do. So what they're doing is, of course, one aspect is the mining part where you can connect your devices, and they will use your computer or your devices which are logged in, where you're using this app to mine. So this is very basic use case, but then they are also talking about forming teams, and you can actually create ideas or maybe participate in contests online, or maybe just do some basic projects which can be done in a team online using your computers or using any other tools. And this is mainly a social uh, kind of a activity where you can earn some cryptos using these actions. So again, what is exciting about this is an EOS based project. Of course, a lot of such projects have started on Ethereum, And it looks very interesting in the sense that they're trying to combine all these aspects which you do on your computer. And what they're claiming is they're trying to make these operations very simple. So when you install this app, you don't have to do anything. I personally am not sure I would like to do mining on my computer using an app which is not open source, which is not very, maybe it's open source. I've not looked into it, but what I'm saying is I would need some more trust before I can go about doing it. But the other ideas they're talking about, where you can form teams and you can do projects online and earn rewards, which is not a bad idea. And I think they are really talking about some great areas like medicine, climatology, astronomy, and machine learning, which is, of course, it's very ambitious project. And they're talking about research projects done online by people working together. So if this becomes successful, I think it will be a great project for EOS. And how it is working right now, they are going to create a side chain, and they are issuing tokens. Um, they call it boid power, and that boid power will translate into a crypto which can be sold against EOS. And what I understand from their details is that they are going to be doing some kind of airdrop to people on Genesis Snapshot. So I think somewhere I saw that, yeah. So 20% of their tokens they're doing the airdrop, and then they're also right now you can actually register an account and make some tokens. I think in terms of Boyd Power. So now what I would recommend is, so we are going to post a referral link down in this video. You can go click and register if you want to and try it out and let us know what you think about it. But overall, it looks like an exciting project. I hope that they make it really successful beyond just the mining, which I'm not really sold on. But I think the other parts about weekly competitions and rewards for research and so on, they look very promising. Then what else is happening, guys? So one more thing which is in news I was reading is the stable coin on EOS. So this is again a kind of activity which is, they are trying to understand that EOS is perhaps the future for the blockchain, and they do need this something like a stable coin based on EOS. And it's a great thing for EOS ecosystem, because as you see that even though there have been a lot of negative news around the Tether or other stable coins, but ultimately they play a big role for a lot of applications which do not like the volatility of cryptos, and they want to interact with the real world. And EOS is designed to interact with the real world. You do need a stable coin for many apps, and it's not a bad thing. So this is a company based in Australia. This is a startup, and they call it Heaven. And their stable coin is going to be called NUSD, and they are saying that they are going to move it to EOS by end of this year. So again, a great thing for EOS ecosystem. We need more and more investments into EOS, more and more projects moving to EOS to make it really a usable blockchain where people are really making use of it and not just testing it. Then I saw some other projects like EOS Bingo, which came to my attention. Again, this is just a game like a lot of other kind of gambling games or some other games. So Bingo is just an extension of what has been going on. So you just go register with Scatter, and you can buy your tickets. And I think they are talking about zero point 0.1 EOS per ticket, and then they have a time-based game. For example, the next game is listed here, and you can participate in this. It will be interesting to see. We will definitely try it out. It's all for fun, and definitely we want to see how EOS ecosystem is panning out. What else? I think we keep going back to the proposal for EOS resource renting, and a lot of people have been asking questions about when it is going to happen, how long it will take. So we believe that this is going to take some time because it's still in early stages. The code is not implemented, and then there definitely needs to be a block producer voting, approval process, and so on. So it may take a few days. I heard that Chinta is already ready with their resource renting model. So it will be interesting to see how these the system contract based resource renting and a third party based resource renting works. But while you are wondering about it, I would recommend everybody to read this article from EOS Cafe Calgary. They have explained very nicely. This is a recent post on Medium that what really this Rex token means. And this is all based on the current ideas proposed by Dan. So they have explained to you how, let's say if you have 2000 token, how it will work out. You will be right now you have all your tokens which you can stake and you can use it, but most of the investors, they're not using it, and they may just lend their tokens to Rex. And when you do that, you lose some power to use EOS. That means the amount of transaction you can do. But if you're anyway not using that, it is a great idea that these tokens are earning you some EOS in return. And this is how they have explained it. So you can go through this. We will post a link on this. They have explained how this is a great idea. It's no risk model, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. And this is the same thing which I explained in last videos of why this is a great proposal. But I think if you still haven't got it, this is a very good explanation, and I would recommend everybody to go and have a look at this. Finally, I think as usual, we look at our voter proxy status. So we have 769 people now. We have 851,000 tokens. So these are not increasing. We saw some big investors are leaving us in terms of not really leaving us. They are still they're signing proxy. I think they're selling their EOS because the number of tokens are going down. I understand the concern because the market is not doing well and some people cannot keep their risk. But I would say that just I don't want to turn this into a financial advice, but what I'm trying to highlight is when the market is at really pessimistic, that's not a great time to sell. Of course, individual people have their own situations, and maybe you cannot hold it. You are trying to reduce your risk, but I would say that right now it's absolutely very low point in recent times, and $5.5 is actually pretty cheap for EOS with the kind of potential. So we talked about the ecosystem, we talked about how many projects are moving to EOS, how more and more investments are coming into EOS beyond what is already identified in terms of Block.one, in terms of the hackathons and the VC funds we have been talking about for a very long time. I was highlighting some additional projects today and how the EOS ecosystem is coming up. So while I understand that the number of tokens are reducing because these investors are trying to maybe reduce their holdings in EOS, but maybe it's not a great time to do that. That is one thing I would like to highlight. But irrespective of that, let's come back to our main topic, that is the voter proxy. So we have now started to create as a team, we are trying to create some additional parameters now for how we are going to identify the block producers to vote for. And we have actually the strength of the 769 now. I think it's very visible. We have a lot more block producers coming and approaching us to talk to us and explaining what they're doing. And we are in a great position now. I think this is very useful. And again, as I said, thanks a lot for all your support. We as a community, we do want to start discussing with these block producers on how they can help the community, how they can build this ecosystem. And it's a long game. Don't worry about what is happening in short term. As you can see that we are doing pretty well. The blockchain is running nicely. It is showing how a free blockchain can operate with so many transactions per second that I think most of the rest of the blockchains together cannot do. And that is the power of EOS. I think it will automatically come up once this market FUD and all the negative news settles down. As I said, to be frank, this last fall, which happened from 7,000 area to like 6,200 or so, this is not even a negative news. When SEC is saying that you're postponing ETF decision, that is actually a positive news in my book, because they are actually considering it seriously versus just rejecting it, just like they did for the Winklevoss twins in terms of the Gemini ETF. That means this CBOE ETF has much better chance of succeeding, and they have more things on the table to review. So I think it's for me it's a positive news, and I think once that news comes out, there are a lot of retirement funds, there are a lot of big pension funds who are going to look into this small allocation. As you know, that stock market isn't really at a all-time high in recent times. It has been going up for 10 years. It's a very long bull run. And all these fund managers, they're getting really fidgety. They're looking for other opportunities where to park their funds. And as you see that China is struggling because of the trade war, a lot of other reasons why stock market and any other typical scenarios are not playing out. Even the gold is not doing very well. And ultimately, spreading into some interesting ideas like cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin looks like a very good idea for these people, for the big fund managers. So I'm sure there will be a lot of pressure to approve this ETF, and it will play out in as per my understanding. But of course, we will wait and watch how it does. But in short term, I think irrespective of what happens on fundamentally, nothing wrong. Actually, there is no real negative news. It's all sentiment issue. I would say irrespective of that, technically the bounce is due. So please do not sell in a hurry at this stage. Do not panic. While the charts don't look good, I would say if you can hold and if you have patience, please hold your portfolio. Either it's Bitcoin or EOS. And in terms of EOS itself, I'm so excited right now that in terms of the ecosystem developing, I'm not too worried. In fact, I think it's a great opportunity for people who missed out, who could not buy earlier at a lower price. So that is what I would say. But again, it's not a financial advice. Please consider your situation before making any decisions. So that's all from here. I think we had a pretty long show today. I think our focus was mainly to highlight to you that EOS ecosystem is continuously evolving. More and more people are coming in. There's nothing wrong fundamentally with EOS. If while the price is going down, I think we have more and more people coming in, and that is something which will define the real use case of EOS. So let's go and quickly check the block activity. I want to make sure that we have a quick review of that. So it's still on the top. EOS is actually, as I said, it's almost, when you see it number one, it's not just number one. If you add all of the other projects, it is more than addition of all the other projects. And we are not even breaking a sweat. We are 0.7% utilization. We can do much, much more. And this is not even with the multi-threaded operations. It's not even with side chains, which are planned for next 6 months to 1 year time frame. And that will really, really change how EOS will scale. And I think somebody had highlighted I don't have the link right now with me, but there's another project which is tracking the actual activity on the blockchain code on the Git, and EOS is actually one of the top projects which is moving. Ethereum, which is actually lacking in scalability, and they are promising so much. They are number 75. So if you're on Facebook channel, I think somebody from our community posted there. So do join our Facebook channel for some great discussions over there. Again, here's the link for Facebook and Telegram. So do join us with there. We are having some good discussions. But coming back to what I was trying to highlight, Ethereum, which is promising that they will bring scalability. They're not even moving fast in terms of code changes, in terms of actually making the move. They are so slow that I'm actually losing faith in Ethereum. Like, why we should wait for them when we already have better alternatives. And same thing is happening. I think Bitcoin is still doing pretty well. At least the core team I see, they're not overly ambitious. Bitcoin is just a currency. But when you're talking about platform and OS, I'm very disappointed with what is happening in Ethereum. I would not like them to fail, because Ethereum has been responsible for most of the crypto world, like these cryptocurrencies which came into existence, the ERC20, and a lot of other successes Ethereum has shown us. And I just hope that they get their footing back, because right now they're just slipping out, and they're going to soon lose out most of the project if they don't act fast. Um, and having said that, there is definitely scope for more than one blockchain. We don't want a monopoly by EOS, because that's never great for an ecosystem. But I think in terms of technical competence of a blockchain, in a very objective fashion, I'm pretty convinced that EOS is the best, and that is very much visible from this block activity status. And this we had been expecting for almost ever since we launched. We knew that we are going to be here, where EOS will be on top, and I don't think anybody will in near future is going to displace it. So thanks again, everybody, for joining. As I said, let us hope that the market recovers, and this is just a short-term blip. But overall, it's great signs for EOS ecosystem, how things are improving. And as I had shown you a few videos back, that we are still working on our website. So I'm not really highlighting that because we couldn't do a lot of work in last few days, but we'll keep updating that, and hopefully we'll make it more usable for you and add our link to that. But till then, please do join our Facebook and Telegram community and participate in it for more and more discussions around EOS and overall crypto world. Thanks again. We will be soon back with another video. Thank you for joining. Bye for now. Have a great week.